Look up at the night sky tonight, way past the glowing clouds of interstellar dust, right in the very heart of the Milky Way. Something is waiting in the dark.
Right now, 26,000 light-years away, there is a black hole 4 million times the mass of our sun. And it's ours. Just let that sink in for a second. We're literally orbiting a monster. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're staring directly into the abyss at the center of our galaxy to figure out what's really lurking down there.
Act 1. The Monster Next Door. Introducing Sagittarius A star. Okay, let's dive into this.
That little asterisk in the name? It was actually tacked on by an astronomer decades ago who realized this weird radio source was something completely unique. It's an immensely compact, super energetic point in space that's basically holding our entire galaxy together. And when we talk about its mass, we are talking about a density that's just fundamentally incomprehensible. 4,297,000, that is the exact number of suns you'd have to literally crush down into a single point in space to match the mass of Sagittarius A star.
And honestly, that sheer density is terrifying when you really think about it. If you took all 4.3 million of those solar masses, the physical diameter of the black hole's shadow is only about 51.8 million kilometers across. To kind of put that into perspective for you, the orbit of Mercury, our innermost planet, is 46 million kilometers at its closest to the Sun. So this supermassive beast containing the weight of millions of stars is basically crushed into a space roughly the size of our inner solar system.
So, you might be wondering, what exactly defines that edge? Well, it's the event horizon. Think of this as a spherical boundary where the gravitational pull becomes so insanely extreme that the speed you'd need to escape it actually exceeds the speed of light itself. It is the absolute point of no return. Once matter or, even light crosses this invisible line, it's just gone, permanently erased from the observable universe.
Now, for decades, this monster was completely invisible to us. But in 2022, humanity finally managed to capture its silhouette. And this historic image was taken by the Event Horizon Telescope, which is this incredibly massive virtual network of observatories, literally the size of the Earth. It took 5 whole years of relentless number crunching just to process the data. But what you're actually looking at here isn't the black hole itself, but the accretion disk. It's this violent, swirling ring of gas and dust heated to millions of degrees, which perfectly outlines the permanent shadow of the abyss.
Moving right along to Act 2, the gravity dance, orbiting the abyss.
So let's talk about the crazy neighborhood right outside that abyss. Consider the story of this doomed, unbelievably fast star known as S2. Since 1995, astronomers led by Andrea Ghez and Reinhard Genzel tracked S2 on a highly eccentric, 16-year orbit around what looked like a totally empty point in space. This painstaking, decade-spanning work actually earned them the 2020 Nobel Prize in Physics, and here's why. It provided the absolute, undeniable proof that a supermassive compact object, a black hole, was literally the only possible explanation for the star's frantic movement. And get this, during its closest approach in 2018, S2 reached a terrifying velocity, 7,650 kilometers per second. That is almost 3% the speed of light. It whipped past the black hole at a mere 120 astronomical units. If you were somehow standing on a planet orbiting S2 during that flyby, well, the physical laws of the universe would begin to betray you.
Which brings us to the mind-bending reality of time dilation, because according to Einstein's general relativity, time is not absolute. When you get really close to an incredibly massive object like Sagittarius A star, the actual flow of time slows down drastically compared to the rest of the universe. If you could hover right near the event horizon without falling in, literal centuries could pass in the rest of the Milky Way while you'd only experience a few days. It's crazy to think about.
But let's be real, you wouldn't survive to tell the tale anyway. Standard astrophysics uses a brutal, yet kind of comical term for your inevitable fate: spaghettification. If you get too close, the tidal forces of extreme gravity are so overwhelmingly immense that the pull on your feet is millions of times stronger than the pull on your head. You'd be squeezed horizontally and stretched vertically into a microscopic noodle of subatomic particles before you even realized you crossed the horizon.
Which leads us to Act 3, A Sleeping Giant Awakens, Flares and Magnetic Mysteries.
So you're probably asking yourself right now, is this monster currently active? Like, could it affect us here on Earth? Well, the answer is, it's basically a sleeping giant that's starting to twitch. During recent observations by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope over a 48-hour period, astronomers caught what they're calling a disco ball light show.
The black hole's accretion disk is actually emitting this erratic, constant stream of flares. Some are just faint, rapid flickers, but others, they're blinding daily eruptions where particles spiral wildly around magnetic fields, bleeding out their energy in huge bursts of intense radiation. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens when we compare our black hole to the colossal M87 star located in another galaxy. A genuinely terrifying mystery starts to emerge. M87 is over 1,000 times more massive, right? Yet scientists discovered in 2024 that both of these black holes share incredibly strong, twisted, and highly organized magnetic fields. But there is one major glaring difference. M87 acts as a massive engine, firing these colossal, world-ending beams of particles at near-light speed straight out of its poles. Sagittarius A star has the exact same magnetic engine. I mean, it literally should be shooting particle jets. Yet direct evidence of a jet from our black hole is completely missing, and scientists are furiously debating why this is. Are the jets aimed directly at us, making them impossible to spot? Are they simply too weak right now? Or is there some dark, totally unknown physics preventing our black hole from firing a beam that could sterilize vast swaths of the galaxy? We just don't know.
Finally, the ultimate unknown, gazing into the abyss.
We have photographed its shadow. We've tracked the doomed stars screaming around it. We've measured its staggering gravity and mapped out its twisting magnetic fields. But the cold, hard reality is, we still really don't understand it. Everything we know, everything science can explain, just stops dead at the event horizon. Inside that 51 million kilometer sphere, the laws of physics as we know them completely break down.
It is the universe's ultimate locked door, keeping the absolute deepest, darkest secrets of gravity, time, and reality itself hidden away from us. Which leaves me with one final question for you. Would you really want to know what's inside a black hole?